there. That's how just you're exercising. Ask yourself, how do I feel right now in terms of like effort and exertion? So you should be about a 2 or 3 if you, or you'll more than likely be in zone 1 or zone 2. So some benefits in those low zones are you get to burn fat in large amounts. Our bodies naturally burn fat when we're in zone 1 and 2. We get the most recovery that happens in zone 1. We get increases of endurance in zone 2. And you know, endurance is always a funny word because like people hear that word and they think like marathon or they think some crazy long event. Endurance just means you can do something longer than you could do yesterday. Like you can do something for more time. That's all it really means. And ultimately, if you can do it for longer, that means you can get a result faster. That's really the key there. So you get increase of endurance when you're in those low zones. So although they might seem super boring, like you're not getting anything out of it, you're actually getting a lot of really great stuff out of those low ones. So remember that if you're going and you're doing that, there's a reason on why you'd stay down there in 1 and 2. When you move upwards and the intensity goes up and you go to like zone 3, some benefits out of that are you increase. Well, and normally I have like a whiteboard to be able to draw some of this stuff out, so I'll do my best with using my words. But in a nutshell, you know, you put a mask on somebody, whether they be at rest or whether they be moving, and we get to measure what their ventilation is doing. So we exhale CO2 and we inhale oxygen. So we're measuring that back and forth at rest and during movement. And so when you understand what CO2 is and like why we're even breathing that out, you understand why it's important to measure it. I want to preface with saying that an RMA and an AMA, those terms, those acronyms are lifetime acronyms, and this is not about plugging lifetime testing. This is about understanding how this kind of testing works. Lots of different places do this. It's not just lifetime. And I think that's an important thing to understand going into it. There are hospitals, there are clinics, there are sports research facilities, universities that all use this kind of technology. But for the point of this podcast, we'll refer to it as AMA and RMA. So RMA is resting metabolic assessment. AMA is active metabolic assessment. Some other names that people might hear alongside of those in different contexts would be like a peak VO2 test or a max VO2 test. That would be kind of like our AMA. Or a basal resting test. That would be kind of like our RMA. But yeah, in a nutshell, and I'm going to get like super nerdy here and I'm going to do my best to in terms of, you know, how do these help us train smarter and recover smarter? You know, with the RMA, again, the red flag stuff and the conversations and the changes in behaviors, especially non-exercise behaviors. As far as the AMA side goes, it's important because we get to build zones out, personalized zones out. And for those of you who, you know, maybe have heard of heart rate zone training or it's brand new to you, basically it's 5 zones. Think of 1 as a recovery and an easy zone, and 5 as a maximal zone, and then everything in between.